Hey guys, we are taking a look at the no grade 160th Wing Gundam Zero. So what I've done at this point was I opened up the box, clipped out all of the pieces out of the runners, and now I've got them stored in about 9 different cups. Not too bad, took about an hour. Now, granted, right now in this process I haven't cleaned them up, no nubs were removed, there's a bit of excess plastic, but that was kind of planned. So here's what I got in mind. Obviously, we're going to try to keep mainly a lot of the colors from the original color chart of Wing Zero in check. But we are going to take a few little bit of liberties here. We're going to try to match more in line with Proto Zero than TV Okawara. Not that I love the Okawara design, but there's some things I don't like. One of the weird things about 90s Gundam wing kits, and I think it even happened with the old Gundam X, is that it uses like this weird purplish gray. So for example here we've got a piece of the twin buster rifles. It's like this weird purplish gray. And I've never been a big fan of that. I don't know why that was a color choice back in the day, but I guess they tried to distinguish frame from weapon. But the purplish gray I don't feel is very accurate. Now, according to the box lineup of this kit, the Buster Rifle is supposed to be kind of two-tone. You've got the darker kind of gunmetal, and then you've got like the light gunmetal. And I don't want to do that. I think it should just be one solid color like we've seen in the anime and most of the video games that we've seen the Okawara design of Wing Zero. So what we're going to do is, obviously you got your reds, your yellows, your blues. The white is kind of like this grayish white, which we're going to fix that because I have a pure white. Now with the inner frame, or there's no inner frame, the frame pieces I guess of this kit, those are going to become gunmetal, which I figured would be a good substitute for inner frame. And while some of the weaponry, or should I say the main Buster Rifle, we are going to be using Tamiya Gunship Gray, which I would think is a great comparable choice to use for the Buster Rifles. Unfortunately, there are some of the yellow pieces, but not all of them. So, like the two little side pieces that go in front of the rifle are going to be in solid yellow, but on the sides of the gun, that's all one color, so we're going to have to use some masking tape in order to fix that. So that is kind of the game plan, and I will try to keep you guys step by step on how we achieve the overall final product of my 160th no grade Wing Gundam Zero. Alright, so right now we have finished the first couple of rounds of painting, and I think for the most part it came out pretty well. Very straightforward. I went for your pure red for the red, pure blue for the blue. White has been okay, but one thing I'm noticing about white, I don't think I'm just really good at it. I mean, I've kind of learned a bit from using white primer how to implement it better from my earlier paint builds. If you've seen with the Love Phantom and the RX-78, there always kind of seems like this little bit of edging that where it's still kind of like grayish, but I think it came out pretty good. Getting better with white, especially got a lot better with yellow. Especially since I switched from using white, from gray primer to white, and then instead of just trying to get it all in one shot, decided to just put it in increments. Unfortunately, you see with this kit, it's got a couple of really bad num marks where you can try your best to clean it up, and it will help to an extent. You'll never quite get them correctly. Then here, for a lot of the frame parts, I went with a gunmetal, which I don't know. Personally, I would have went for metallic gray, but my stores locally didn't have it, and I just don't have the patience to wait for a metallic gray. That will be for my double X paint builded, so that's where we're going for. Now, with the tip of the wing, so you notice here with this kit, this kit, they give you stickers for the wings. I decided to do something a little bit more clever. If you can kind of see, what I did here was I painted the blue that it was supposed to be first. Then I masked it off and implemented yellow instead of using the sticker. Now I am using the sticker right now because I'm using it as a seal. Because one thing about painting with this kit, I forgot to put some of the edges, and then like you see that that triangular kind of molding right there. Well, I was able to get the yellow on it good. I couldn't really block out that kind of molding in the middle correctly, and that happened with all 4 of the wingtips. So I wasn't able to I got the paint on, but the problem is I just wasn't able to kind of mask it completely right. So I'm gonna do one final touch up before I decide to just put it all together. And with the weapons, what I'm gonna do is, first off, I gotta clean that ugly little seam line that's gonna run right down the middle. Obviously clean the nubs too, but I'm gonna do something a little special. I don't know if you guys know the YouTuber Crab Monkey, but he decided to kind of fix an issue with the twin buster rifles not being able to hold together with magnets, and I have the said magnets right here. A lot of the mods that I'm going to do in this kit were influenced by him. It was kind of sad that we never got to see his finished build of this, but I'm kind of taking those ideas, running with it, and then creating my own version of the Wing Zero. We're almost done at this point. I have the last bits of inner frame parts right here, and then I also decided to mask off some seam lines on some of the parts, like on the upper part of the arm, like the bicep. It has like an ugly little seam line that I was kind of able to clean up, but I am still not a master of being able to clean up seam lines. So like, for example, here is the connector piece for the bottom and upper part of the leg. My problem with seam line removal is that I kind of laid some on top, so some bits came off pretty messy, and I was able to sand down some of it but not all of it. So I still need to get better at seam line removal, but overall the process is getting a lot better. We're almost done, so that is where we are heading out to. So one more pass and then you'll see pretty much everything that I had in store. Hey guys, we are almost done with Wing Gundam Zero, and I gotta say my overall thoughts of the build before the review begin. It was a little bit adventurous. It was definitely different. It was a build that in some parts were straightforward, in other parts were complex, not for complexity's sake, but just due to the fact that this kit is 25 years old, and there are a lot of trickery and just lack of color separation that you would not expect to see, and it took a lot of work to try and recreate the image of Wing Zero as best as I could. Like, for example, here they give you a sticker for this. I tried my absolute best to try to paint in that yellow, and what I tried to do was I painted the wing binder tip blue, then I tried to mask it off to that section of the yellow, and then finally I tried to do touch-ups on the blue because some of it started to eke out, like you can see right here on the edges. So I tried to use the actual sticker for this to try to mask it off, and it wasn't completely successful. You can see that the blue was trying to drip inside of the yellow, and I tried my best to fix it with a Gundam marker, but that was difficult to say the least. So in that aspect, I feel like I failed. In other aspects, I think I succeeded. For example, I added a custom LED to this for the chest piece. It's supposed to be red, but that's almost inaccurate to the entire anime. It usually glows green. I think it was only shown to glow red once in the entire show. Personally, I take it as that was a leftover from Burning Gundam, because there was a 1/60th God Gundam slash Burning Gundam that had the jewel piece light up, and that was red. And with the custom LED that I have in here, it not only just glows green, instead it does like a flashing thing, which I am pretty impressed. The electronics in this kit were very simple. You wouldn't be surprised to think that it was as simple as the LED units that you would see in Perfect Race for the head, at least. Otherwise, it was a very by-the-book paint process. The last part now is to work on the Buster Rifles over there. The Buster Rifles, like, first off, I want to say, what really helped the Buster Rifles is this gunship gray. Like, because I was thinking I was going to have to paint it gunmetal, and I know it's a gun, but I don't want it to be gunmetal. This shop that I went to suggested this gunship gray, and huge shout out to them for that. And it really helped bring it out of the Buster Rifles. Now we just got to paint the yellow on there, because again, that is also a sticker, and I'm trying very hard not to use stickers. And then finally, for curiosity's sake, here's the head. Obviously, I need to do some top coat so I can panel line it, but I'm just really happy. I think this is the best painted build I've done. I would say it even topples Barbatos in that I think the white came out pretty good for the most part. There might be like some trickles and some cuts and some shading issues, but I think I'm finally mastering how to use white in a kit. So after this should be the part where we transition to the full build. Let's talk about it and see what we have here.